G'day, Adam, and thanks so much for coming in today.
Yeah,
You
thank
found the
you.
place all right? Or?
Yeah, it was alright. I was very lucky. I found a great car park just in the road, so yeah, obviously on time, which is a
Yeah,
blessing
excellent.
considering Brisbane traffic. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've made it here, and once again, thanks so much for fitting me into your schedule. I know you've got a busy schedule, so I appreciate it.
No worries. Yeah, thanks so much for coming in today. My name's Jacob. I'm a clinical psychologist,
Mhm.
and yeah, we'll just be going. Just the layout of today will just be me getting to know you pretty much.
Yep.
Me, I know, asking some questions about your background, your
Yep.
history, and then we'll just be getting into what brings you in here today.
Yeah,
So,
perfect.
yeah, just before we get started, there's a couple things that I've got to cover in regards to confidentiality, as well as like layout and how the session will flow.
Yep.
Is that alright if I jump into that?
Perfect. Go for it.
Excellent. So, just in regards to confidentiality, everything that we say here will stay between us, except there are a couple of exceptions to that. And the first one is if the notes that I make today, the things that we talk about, is subpoenaed by the court, I'll have to hand those over. And that's just in regards to potentially as well if there are anything that we talk about that might be damaging in any society context. So if you've done anything that maybe
I understand. Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
is not viewed in the great light,
Yeah.
then I'll have to
Okay.
raise
Yeah,
that
I
up with
understand.
appropriate
Yep.
authorities.
Yep.
As well, if you share anything today that could be harmful to yourself or others, I will have to notify the right people as
Yeah,
well. So,
perfect.
is that all good with
Yeah,
you?
perfect.
Excellent. As well today, I will be just recording this session, and that's just for me and for my development, so that I can make sure that I am providing you with the best treatment possible. So
Okay.
is
Yeah,
that all?
that's perfect. Yeah, I understand.
Lovely. As well, I'll just be making some notes as we go throughout the session, and that's just for me, so that I can keep track of some of the things that you're saying, so that I can touch on some different things as we maybe feel like it might be jumping around a little bit today.
Yep.
I'm going into a couple different areas, and I might be asking some questions that might be quite hard or challenging as well. So if I am pushing in maybe into an area that you do feel really uncomfortable about, you can tell me to slow down. I want to make sure that you feel comfortable in the space.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. So let's just get into it. Would you be able to just share a little bit about what brings you in here today?
Yeah. Yeah, I think for the last, probably 6 weeks, I've just been suffering from really, like, low mood, and probably a bit of avoidance. I'm a fairly social person. I like to get out and do things and be active, and the last 6 weeks was sort of set myself in like a spiral per se. Just, I'll be honest, sometimes it's hard to even get out of bed. I do, and like I go into work and put a mask on and try my best. But yeah, sometimes it just extremely low mood, and it's hard to sort of put my finger on it. But everything at the moment feels like a struggle.
Okay.
And it has like a knock-on effect. And like I said, I'm fairly social. I've got a great supportive network of mates, and even with them, I'm sort of withdrawing and I'm scanning their calls, and I just want to sometimes take to bed, and that's not me. I want to get back to myself, and hence why I really want to come here and talk to you and sort of vent and sort of work out some strategies and sort of reflect on how I can sort of get back to being my own self, which was someone outward and happy to hang with mates and having confidence. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well done for coming in today. This is a really great first step in regards to just getting started and to trying to get back to where you were. You did say about your low mood, and that's something that is weighing quite heavily on you at the moment.
Yeah.
And we will go into that in just a moment. But just before we get into that, I'm really interested. You mentioned a couple of things about your relationships with other people.
Yeah.
But I would really just like to get an insight into your background.
Yeah.
Would you be able to tell me maybe first about your family?
Yeah. For sure. So my family, we're from Brisbane. My mum and dad are still together. For 40 odd years, a rocky sort of relationship. Never violent, but just it was a unique household to be part of. I'm one of 3 siblings. I've got a younger brother and sister, and we all get on well. There's no dramas there. So that's from the family side. I work here in Brisbane. I work as a project manager, and I do like my work. I'm lucky. I've got some great workmates and supervisors. And my low mood has been affecting my work. If I'm honest, I sort of put a mask on and go in there and try my best, but I know I'm not giving the best to my team. I'm distracted and. I'm not fronting up as I should, and I'm sort of withdrawing in social aspects, and I'm doing my work, but I'm not doing it to the best of my ability. From a social setting, from a background, like as I said, I have got some really good friends, and they've noticed my mood changes as well. Pardon me. They are supportive, but I guess I'm a little bit nervous to sort of open up to them. I guess the complexities of my low mood and changing behaviour, just because I don't want them to sort of maybe judge me or, not understand me. Like I've got one really close friend in the group who I've told everything to, and he's been supportive. But yeah, it's also that sort of shame element or embarrassment as a male. But that's sort of the family history. Just getting back with Dad, like my dad, he, it was a weird household in a lot of ways. Dad suffered bouts of depression throughout his life, so sometimes, Dad was present, sometimes he wasn't, sometimes he was in bed, and Mum carried the household. I know that sort of put a lot of pressure on Mum, and it wasn't the most loving environment. When I say that, I'm someone who needs and wants words of affirmation and love and caring, where our household were very almost clinical, where there was no I love yous or hugs, touch. It was just like that's the household, and that sort of it's weird now. Me as an adult, I crave something I didn't have in that circumstance from the family point of view.
Yeah, okay. Well, you've given me quite a lot there, so thank you for opening up in that regard and just telling me a bit about your family. You mentioned your parents have been together for a while, but it wasn't the most maybe loving relationship or easiest relationship.
Yeah. Definitely not the most. I'm sure they love each other, but it was just Mum took the burden on when Dad was sick. And like I said, we never sort of were really a lovey-dovey sort of family. It was just very clinical. In saying that, I'm really close to my siblings. But it wasn't what I craved for, which was hugs and people telling me I was loved and so forth.
Yeah. So that feeling inside of you, that real desire to be loved and to love someone, how has that played out in your relationships? Going forward?
Well, it's funny, and this is probably the reason why I've come to see you, and I think probably for my low mood and my behaviour change is like I broke up with my first ever sort of big long-term girlfriend about 6 weeks ago, and that really hurt. Even though it was amicable, you sort of reflect and think, was it me? Am I enough? And and I had fleeting girlfriends previously, but I've always struggled, even as a teenager, to connect with to girls, and always found them scary. I'm not someone who can easily talk to females. I've always found it difficult.
Okay.
So as I said previously, just real fleeting girlfriends through my teenage years.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's where that comes into play.
Okay. So you've mentioned as well at the start that there is a low mood that you're experiencing right now, and that is something that you do want to address, as well as tying that into this breakup that you mentioned about with your girlfriend 6 weeks ago. Would you be able to tell me a little bit about this low mood and how long you've been experiencing that for?
Yeah, well, I think, to be honest, it's ever since the breakup.
Okay.
And it's brought a lot of emotions to the surface for me, you know, and like,
Mm.
you know, just sort of reflect on, as I said, like what I did wrong in the relationship. I'm scared if I'm going to find a new girlfriend because I find it so hard to find or connect with girls, and it also brings up a lot of memories, not just from my childhood in my household, but um, uh, you know, my first ever sort of girlfriend in high school. Um, Looking back was really mean to me. I know it's young love, but you know, she sort of said to me like when we broke up, and I didn't really know how to digest it, but it sort of hung with me. But you know, she sort of said to me I was, you know, worthless and useless, and you know,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
you know, you know that she couldn't love me, and no one would ever love me because who I am, and
Mm.
that really resonated with me. I carried that for a long time, and so I think for me, after having finally someone who loved me, and I guess I was getting these I wanted, and then for us to break up, and you know, even though it was amicable and I understand, I sort of all those emotions are bubbling up to the surface again, you know, and you know, and it's affecting my sleep. Like, you
Mm.
know, I go to bed and
Okay.
I just my rumination is thoughts of the breakup. What could I have done better? Is it me? And then like tying back into, you know, the fleeting relationship I have had and thoughts of inadequacy.
Mm.
Um, you know, and I'll be honest, like I know I'm going through a stage and I've got to sort of get over it, and I'm never to the point where like it's self harm or I'm not that way at all. It's
Mm.
just that I guess I'm really sad and this is emotions have been brought up, and I sometimes get angry at mum and dad and think like, gee, why couldn't the household or you know show me love? And then like I've had this effect or this experience with my first girlfriend, even though I was a teenager, and that's just been bubbling away. Then and this breakup, and it all comes back to like, you know, am I useless? Am I going to find someone? You know, you know am I destined to be alone? You know, am I you know so and all those emotions, and right now, but it's such a burden for me. I just want to withdraw and yeah, just digest it and but I'll be honest, like I don't want to feel this way. And friends have told me like you'll get over it and you know just get out of the house. But at times I'm just like maybe I'm worthless, and I am very extremely self-critical of myself. I put myself down,
Mm.
so yeah. So that sort of contribute to the low mood and the feeling of worthlessness. Yeah,
Okay.
you know, especially when it comes to relationships.
And this feeling that's sitting with you, you mentioned before about your first relationship with your girlfriend who spoke these words to you, and
Yeah.
it's sat quite heavily with you. Could you
It has, yeah.
tell me more about, like you said, fleeting relationships in the past and how that part of your history has really affected those thoughts that you're going through now?
Yeah, like I said, yeah, like, yeah, I guess my first girlfriend was when I was 16 and it was young love and, you know, yeah, we broke up and it was, you know, it was schoolyard sort of stuff and I didn't know what a relationship looks like. I didn't have the best role model anyway with mum and dad, I guess you can sort of say, but when she broke up, she just sort of, you know, said some really nasty, mean words to me, which, you know, I sort of, we're all kids, I get that, but for me it hurt. And then going on the fleeting relationships, I always felt it difficult. I felt difficult to talk to girls. And I'm not sure whether it's just from my upbringing or it's my personality or I'm just lacking confidence, but I've never been able to, you know, growing up, have a proper relationship until I found my ex. I was with her for 3 years and it was big, and for me it was finally having someone who I could connect with and love me and show me love, and then all of a sudden it's gone.
Yeah.
And then I'm like back to square one. And it's like, is it me? Is it enoughness? And just am I going to be alone again? You know what I mean? And I've got to start again. It was hard enough finding, you know, someone in the first place who connected with me and loved me for who I was. And like I said, even though everything's amicable and stuff, it's just those feelings are bubbling up again. Yeah. But yeah, and as I said, behaviourally, the sleep's now a mess. Yes, that's where I am now.
Yeah. it sounds like it is quite scary, that feeling of being alone, and that is something that is quite important to you, to be loved and feel love in relationships.
Yeah, definitely.
I just want to now just kind of redirect and focus in on the physical aspects,
Yeah.
or the behavioral aspects that this is affecting. You've mentioned
Yeah.
your sleep is something in particular that's been affected by this low mood and by this relationship breakdown.
Yeah.
Is there any other, I guess, areas that this is affecting?
No, but probably the sleep, like combination getting to sleep. Behaviour, withdrawing from my mates, like they try to get me out to go to football and do things, and I scan their calls and yeah, so I'm not doing the things I used to do, and I want to do that. I want to get out of the house. I want to I want to contribute. I want to hang around with my friends, but just now at the moment, just like I feel as though I don't have the energy to face the world. I'd rather be in bed. I'll be honest. Although I have commitments, I go to work, I put a mask on and do it. Although they're not getting the best of me, I know that, and I want to front up and be the best manager I can. So they're the major things that's concerning, and they're the things I want to work on. I want to get better. I want to be someone. I want to find my confidence again. I want to find my mojo, I guess you can sort of say. And that's what I really want to work through.
Yeah, okay. So there are a lot of things that you do want to work towards. But then I'm just thinking back to the thoughts that you're experiencing. This sounds like this is really sits at the heart of that low mood and just a bit of a cycle potentially going on in your mind.
Yeah, I agree. It's probably sort of touched on some stuff in the past that's really resonated and bubbled up, probably things I haven't dealt with. I think you're right there. Yeah.
Okay, and just to even get another understanding about, we've talked about your family, just maybe even just your childhood, and are there any particular experiences you've mentioned with the girlfriend, but maybe in other social aspects where these thoughts could have been confirmed?
From the family, like my household growing up, the thing I yearned for, probably like a lot of kids, I guess, was the feeling of love and affection, and I didn't really get that in my family household. And I understand why. Mum was busy carrying the household. Dad had his own mental health issues, so I understand that. I'm very aware of that, and mum is the pillar of strength in our household. But I think it's a bit like, now you say it, definitely probably yearning for love in the household. Didn't really receive it, and then obviously negative impacts or negative experiences with my first sort of girlfriends.
Okay, there aren't any other aspects as far as, I don't know, other role models in your life or other people that have really added to these
I've got good
thoughts?
mates. Look, I have good mates,
Yeah.
and they've been really supportive. And I've shared with one, and he's been really supportive. And said, let's just get out and about. You'll find someone else. You'll be okay. So I have got them that helping me. My siblings, I've got a good relationship with my siblings, but I don't really share this aspect because it's someone it feels a bit of shame for me as well to admit that, like, I have got low confidence. I have got inner critic is like telling me that I'm worthless and useless. So and the knock on with behaviour, withdrawal and sleep. So it's just that's sort of where it lands at the moment.
Okay. And just to get a bit of an understanding around, have you ever maybe used substances to try and we're in a very safe space here, but just any substances to kind of deal with these emotions or feelings?
No, as a teenager, I did binge drink. I drank. It's weird. I found that when I drank at parties, it gave me more confidence to talk to girls. So, but just besides that, a couple of years of misusing alcohol, nothing ever since then.
Okay. So that's just been something in the past. And as well, I guess, as we kind of transition into looking now at those areas that you want to change, and we can really make a difference in this area, and this is something that does have, I guess, a lot of space. We can look into. I just want to. Have you ever been to a psychologist or seen anyone before and talked about this?
No, I haven't. And that's such a big step for me to come here, and also but I want to be healthy and healthy. I want to get back doing the things I used to do. I don't want to feel this way forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. So now I guess let's just refocus. We've talked about a lot of different things, and I feel like I've got a bit more of an understanding about who you are and what we want to work on. Is there any specific goals or actionable things that we can focus on that you think will just help you?
Definitely. I think the first one would be setting goals to get out of the house and go join my friends group, like go out and hang out with them, go to the football, go to a movie. And probably the second one was just sort of then sleep and sleep hygiene and how I can, you know, get ready for bed and go to bed and push everything aside. And they're the two biggest goals I'd like to tick off with you and work out a strategy to help.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like when we work through these in the sessions to come, we'll be able to get a bit more of a routine to kind of focus and address these thoughts more seriously.
Perfect.
So
that'd be brilliant.
Yeah, is there anything else before we close today that you would like? Any specific things?
No, I actually feel a lot better than just venting and talking to you, to be honest. I haven't really sort of shared my history before, and like I said, it's a bit of a shame, but I feel as though like it's easy to talk to you. So I thank you for letting me have the space to talk and share my presenting issues and problems. I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, no worries. It was lovely to meet you, and thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it.